Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Dakota's Political Circle. And today I wanted to talk about how Trump is 100% serious about purchasing Greenland and about acquiring Greenland and the Panama Canal. And if everyone knows about the Panama Canal, um, because Greenland was talked about in the past about Trump purchasing it. But the Panama Canal, with him acquiring it, a lot of people don't know. But during Jimmy Carter, when Jimmy Carter was president, before him, the Panama Canal was basically the United States is Panama Canal. Like it was ours. We built it. I believe Panama was a part of the U.S. as a territory at one point because I think we liberated them. I don't want to be too sure on that because I'm not too big on the history behind it. But I do know that we used to own the Panama Canal. And Jimmy Carter, when he became president, he decided to give it back to Panama. So basically, he gave Panama the Panama Canal, and even though America built it, America had it, it is American owned. Jimmy Carter, the biggest blunder of his entire presidency, gave the Panama Canal away. So it makes a lot of sense why Trump wants it back because it is America's canal, guaranteed, no matter what. It is America's canal. Now, when it comes to Greenland, that's a little bit different. That's more of like a for military purposes. Acquiring Greenland can have a lot of resources, and also it could be very very strategic for the like Arctic area. So it's very strategic for America to have like a territory like that. So it makes a lot of sense why Trump wants both of these. The Panama Canal used to be the U.S.'s, but it also makes a lot of money per year as well. But I'm going to dive into this article first, and then I'll talk about what Trump said, what Panama said, then Greenland as well, and I'll also talk about like the estimated prices it could be for Greenland and also Panama. But for Panama Canal, it's a little bit different because technically Trump could try to take it by force, and I'm not going to say I wouldn't be opposed to that, but it's probably better to just try to buy it from them. But let's read this first. So Trump is 100% serious about acquiring Greenland and the Panama Canal. So he's 100% serious about wanting to acquire Greenland and the Panama Canal as a territory. Over the weekend, Trump publicly floated the idea of U.S. ownership and control of Greenland, taking back the Panama Canal because of its ridiculous fees for American ships, which makes a lot of sense. Trump also has referred to Canada for weeks as a prospective state with Prime Minister Justin Trudeau as its governor, although that's just a taunt. But he's not kidding when it comes to Greenland and the canal as part of the America First strategy to counter China and Russia. The president is 100% serious, the source close to Trump confirmed. And White House and Treasury Department officials in the Trump first administration even went so far as to closely study how to negotiate and fund the takeover of Greenland, which makes a lot of sense. The world's largest island, two first-term Trump sources told. A practical game plan for negotiation to win over the Greenland's 56,000 mostly was developed during Trump's final year in office. The move came over a thing craft concept was floated and shot down by the Danish in 2019 because if you guys remember, Trump tried to buy Greenland in the past, but it was more floated than actually like, oh, I want to buy it. Here's how much I want to buy it for. It was more of like a floated idea that Greenland found out about. Well, actually Danish. Technically Denmark owns it, so technically it's Denmark's. The basic idea at the end of Trump's term and likely still is to first win over the relatively poor residents of Greenland. So that's the massive things we need to do. We'd have to win over the residents of Greenland. If you win over the residents, that's a big advantage right there because it doesn't really matter what Denmark thinks at that point because as long as Greenland wants to go through with it, then it really matters there. That transfer of power will likely come in a form of compact-free association, similar to U.S. relations with independent Pacific islands like Palau and the Marshall Islands and such. What we're trying to do is to find at the end of Trump's first term was a three-way win-win-win deal because of Danish, America, and also Greenland itself as well, the Greenland people. And it also talks about some other things about their family history in Greenland, like people from Greenland, and then Greenland's self-government, all sorts of stuff like that. Because Greenland is its own country technically, but it's its own country, it's its own governing country, but technically the Danish do own it. Another first-term Trump officially worked with the plan. It's not a wild thing. We purchased Alaska from Russia in 1867 for $7.2 million. So that is true, but it's going to be a lot more money though. And then the Panama Canal. It talks about the Panama Canal. Trump noted his concern about the canal falling into the wrong hands, which I agree with. This is a massive thing to agree with, particularly China in his weekend commentary. He also mentioned national security concerns involving the large Arctic island of Greenland. That's also what I talked about. The United States invaded Panama. So this will actually talk about the stuff I talked about a little bit. It'll probably be more history-esque. So the U.S. invaded Panama in 1989 and toppled its authoritarian government, which America controlled until Jimmy Carter returned the canal zone to Panama in 1979. So we have the Panama Canal from 1989 to 19. Well, I mean, okay, so hold on. Yeah, we returned it in 1979. So it said invaded in 1989. I'm not sure when we gave it back to them, though. When we had it. I think we had it for a while. But I don't think this is too accurate when it says it. The canal connecting was governed by the Republic of Panama. A neutrality treaty between the U.S. and Panama assures that the canal remains neutral with no discriminatory tolls. And the U.S. does still have the right under the treaty to exert military force if deemed the canal to be under threat of no longer being neutral. So if we really wanted to, we could take military force and take the canal if we really wanted, like I mentioned. The State Department expressed concern over China's collaborating with Russia to gain more access to the Arctic national region. That's for Greenland specifically. But yeah, that's more or less what it's about. It doesn't really talk too much else about everything else in there. But Panama's president has said every square inch of the canal belongs to Panama and will continue. And also the Greenland Prime Minister, Mute Ajedi, wrote online, Greenland is ours. We are not for sale. We'll never be for sale. We must not lose our long struggle for freedom. So obviously both are denying it. But remember, money's money. Everything has a price. You got to remember that. But after going through that article, let me show you stuff that Trump actually said. This is the thing. So Trump obviously officially called for the purchase of Greenland. So he said it was because of national security and freedom throughout the world. That's the big reason he wants to own Greenland, which makes a lot of sense. I mean, a country like Greenland or a territory would be a massive thing for the United States. It's a huge landmass, and it can easily, be a military power, shooting nukes at, not nukes, like huge military weapons at certain countries that are deemed dangerous. So it is a big power move if we have Greenland. But also it has a lot of natural resources that could help the U.S. in the long run because there's untapped resources that are in Greenland as well on top of that. And then this goes with Panama. So I did talk about this. Every square meter of the canal and its surrounding sovereignty is sovereign Panama territory. But I want to show you something exactly how Trump responded to this. So the first thing is he said, "We'll see about that." Trump literally posted on Truth Social after the Panama president said that. He said, "We'll see about that." So Trump is completely serious about the Panama Canal and taking it. So I'm not sure if Trump will go to the depths as of having military power to take it, because Trump isn't really a big war president at all. But I do think Trump will, put massive tariffs on Panama if they do not send it back. They might do many, many other things just to hurt their friendship and stuff. And I guess worst case scenario, we could take it from them because it is rightfully ours. But there is a lot of things there. Trump definitely wants it back, and it is definitely the U.S.'s. I don't think it should be Panama's whatsoever. That canal was built by Americans. It was, made by America. Basically, that canal is rightfully ours, and Jimmy Carter was an idiot for getting rid of it. And then right here, I want to show you, Trump also mocked the Panama president again, and he said, "Welcome to the United States Canal." So it's like changing the Panama Canal to the United States Canal. After the president in Panama asserted everything's going to remain under Panama sovereignty. So Donald Trump's basically joking around, basically telling him it's not going to happen. It's going to be the United States Canal. And then also I wanted to show right here, Trump is 100% serious about acquiring Greenland, just like I talked about in the Panama Canal. So he is serious about buying all of this. This isn't like something that's just floated. When he was president before, it was floated about Greenland. He never talked about Panama, the Panama Canal, but it was floated about Greenland during his presidency. And he never really, pushed it forward. Now he is seriously talking about it. And when he does become president, he's definitely going to be seriously talking to Greenland about purchasing Greenland, and also talking to the Danish as well. And then when it comes to Panama, it's a little bit different when it comes to the Panama Canal, because technically it is rightfully ours. It's just because that treaty between us is the only thing stopping it. And also, Panama itself think they deserve it, which it shouldn't be theirs whatsoever. And I think best case scenario, we tariff them a lot. We make a deal for the Panama Canal that they can't refuse, and we get the Panama Canal. And then when it comes to Greenland, there's only one way to go about it, and it's more or less like trying to win over the people of Greenland and also purchasing it as well. And you'll have to have a hefty price to purchase it. And I actually have right here, just to show you how much it could actually cost, that actually could work. So I checked to see how much it could actually cost to buy Greenland, and it surfaced that it could be range from 500 billion to over $1 trillion to try to buy Greenland. That's basically around the margin where you really want to be, especially if you want to be buying that big landmass. I'm not sure Trump will go to the margin of $1 trillion, but I do think he'd probably offer maybe 300, 400 billion, quite possibly, for Greenland. And I think it's really, really, really possible he could do that. Now, do I think Denmark will accept? I'd say if he offered a hefty amount, like 500 billion or more, I think Denmark would consider it, at least if the people in Greenland support the idea. If the people of Greenland don't support the idea and they don't get any support from Trump at all, it's going to be a little bit harder, because Denmark is not willing to sell if the people of Greenland don't agree as well. Now, if Trump out of nowhere offered over $1 trillion for buying Greenland, I guarantee you that Denmark would accept no matter what and wouldn't care what Greenland would think. But I think it's a good idea to care what the people of Greenland think, because if you don't, then there could be a little political resistance if you don't. Now, if you read right here, it says the strategic value, it's the location in the Arctic, access to shipping routes, military position is crucial. You got natural resources, untapped natural resources. You never know what could be there. Remember, Alaska was a massive, massive natural resource place that we bought from Russia for a small amount of money. So it could be really massive to get Greenland when it comes to natural resources as well. It could add like hundreds of billions of dollars to that price tag because of that. But also at the same time, it really helps us out getting our money back. And then economic considerations, you got Greenland has an economy heavily subsidized by Denmark, so we would actually have to foot that bill if we had if we had Greenland. So we'd have to foot the bill for that territory, which I would think we would do, especially if it's a really military strategic place. And then the political resistance, like I talked about, Greenland is, an autonomous territory with its own government, and they don't have any interest in selling it. But a hypothetical sale would have to have both parties, listening to the idea. But I do think if Trump made a massive offer, I don't think they would refuse, because you think about it. If you offered $500 billion to a place like Denmark, they might consider it, because that is a massive amount of money for a country like Denmark. Now, I don't know about the people of Greenland, but I do know Denmark would probably be considering it. Now, if it was over $1 trillion, guaranteed Denmark would want to sell that thing at all costs. And then looking right here, I just wanted to talk about the purchase of the Panama Canal, if we did purchase it. Now, I know it's with purchasing the Panama Canal, it's a little bit different. I wouldn't want to purchase it per se because it is ours, but if we had to, I think it's a possibility, especially if we're pressuring the Panama Canal to give it to us. Maybe we'll make out a deal to buy the canal, and this is basically how it would work. So speculating the estimates, it would be around 100 billion to 500 billion, which is pretty accurate. You know, from how much they make per year, like I would say the Panama Canal would definitely be a big price tag. Like look right here. So the Panama Canal revenue through tolls with an annual revenue of around $3 billion, which is a lot of money. And if the U.S. had it, they'd probably up that amount. So I would say if they bought it between 100 billion to 500 billion dollars, I think Panama, they might be a little bit more resistant to it, but I think they would possibly take it. But the bad thing is it could be unlikely due to, like, you know, international laws and stuff like that. So that's why I feel like Trump's going to have to push Panama to actually sell it or get rid of it, because that's the only way we can get Panama. Greenland's a little bit different because it's more of just a purchase. Panama's a little bit different because of all the treaties and stuff like that, because of the stupid president we had in the past, Jimmy Carter. But I do think it's still possible to get the Panama Canal. And I mean, if it's only between 100 billion to 500 billion dollars, if you offered Panama 500 billion dollars, I think they would take it. I don't think they're that crazy to not take $500 billion, but I do think Trump would not be as lenient with giving money for the Panama Canal, because it is rightfully ours. I don't think he'd offer that much money for something like that. But it would really depend. You know, it's going to have a lot of international backlash and stuff like that because of Panama's sovereignty, because of the president we had before. But also at the same time, you know, you never know what could happen. I mean, just think about it. The Panama Canal could be back to the U.S. Like money talks, just like I say, money talks. Everyone says that money talks because it's true. I do think Greenland has more of a chance of getting to the U.S. than the Panama Canal, but I do think it's still possible to get both. I think it's a possibility as long as Trump offers a good amount of money when it comes to the Greenland one, and then when it comes to the Panama Canal, I think it really just depends on if we can pressure them enough to sell it to us. We'll have to put like big trade restrictions. We'll have to do so many things to get them to do it. Like, that's the only possibility I can think of. Worst case scenario, I would say, is possible military action to try to take the Panama Canal. The other thing we could do, which would really, really suck, is that we could pressure the Panama Canal to basically not tax us whatsoever, not charge us whatsoever to go through the Panama Canal when it comes through with shipments from the U.S. and stuff like that. That's how I feel about it. I just wanted to talk to you guys about this today, just to show you how much Trump wants to make America better, bring in more territories that actually matter. If it was me, I would also try to get Cuba and stuff like that. But obviously that's not going to happen. But obviously there's so many things we could do to make the U.S. better, and so many other ways that Trump is definitely pushing forward right now. So I do hope this ends up working out. I really, really want us to at least get Greenland. That would be a great opportunity for America. But anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I just want to talk to you guys about this because it is a big topic as of right now. Trump still hasn't finished picking his cabinet picks, so I won't be posting that yet. Once he's finished posting his cabinet picks, I will be doing my big video on that. January 20th can't come soon enough because I'm very excited for Trump to finally be in office. Stuff like this might be happening, you know, trying to acquire Greenland, trying to get back the Panama Canal. That would be a really, really great thing. So we'll have lots of great things to talk about during Trump's presidency. I wanted to add, I won't be live streaming the inauguration day. I won't be live streaming that because I won't be able to that day. So that sucks. I won't be able to do that. But anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.